Hello and welcome to Let's Talk Horse Business. It's me, your host, George, and today we're going to look a little bit into my business. We have now put out a number of episodes covering other people and their businesses, other thoughts and ideas around the equestrian business and industry. And today I want to take it back and have a look at what my journey's been like so you can get a real feel of where I am and what I'm taking you on. I am the director of Fonture Transport. Now, if you haven't noticed already through the other episodes, that is my sole and main business at the moment. A horse transport business designed to help you get your horses from A to B in quality vehicles in timely manner with a guaranteed expectation of what we are delivering to you. And it seems all a little bit silly to keep talking to you about other people's businesses and not highlight what's going on for me. And that's what we're going to do today. My business started about 2.5 years ago, and it started just from a seed of an idea where at the time I was working on a livery yard and they needed transport. And to hire horse boxes seemed impossible. The quality horse boxes, might I add, because there are a number of people out there offering horse box hire and transport, but to be able to find companies offering the quality of vehicle that I wanted and the availability of the vehicles I wanted was a big problem. So through that, I started investigating different horse boxes, different ideas. And bearing in mind, I already had a bit of a business background because I'd been a publican for 6 years. I'd run the family business for a period of time and I'd studied business at university. So I was very much into business. So that part wasn't a concern for me, but it was just trying to find a way that I could offer this service out to help me, but also to then help the wider community. And what was really missing? Why would it be worth buying a horse box and offering these services? So much like many of us, I think we jump into these things, particularly I feel in the equestrian world, but perhaps that's because I'm what I'm mostly in. We jump into these businesses and they sort of become hobbies, which turn into businesses. And I have to say that's kind of what happened to me in the end, which is somewhat disappointing because I was already a businessman, but I was so busy working on the horses, working on other aspects of what we were offering that I didn't put the time into the business. So since then, I have taken the business to new levels. Over the past 6 to 9 months, I've really had a drive on the business. 9 months to a year. I had a really big drive on the business, but there are a number of reasons why it's been a bit of a challenge. And I think you'll recognize many of these if you are also in business. Firstly, I had people trying to drive down prices. I mean, I'm sure that we have all experienced that. And you just think we price our services based upon the costs that we have and the money that we need to make. And that's the same whether you're a livery business, a clothing business, a equestrian fitness business or coach. You have to work it backwards. And what I found is that my fees were relatively high. Now, I don't think that's a bad thing because I am targeting people in that region. I am providing the better horse boxes, in my opinion, based on the research that I've done on the market, to people who want the top quality transport and the comfort. But of course, then you come under scrutiny. Oh, well, so-and-so down the road can do it for X price. Well, good luck to you. Off you go. Are they fully insured? Are they licensed? Have they taken the relevant tests? Is the vehicle up to scratch? There's so many parts, particularly to the transport business, that people, I don't say they don't know about it, but I think people choose to ignore it for price quite often. That's my opinion. And I just think, actually, hold on a minute. Why is mine more? Why do people not question that more? So anyway, taking the business from what was a bit of a hobby into a full-blown business, we now have 3 lorries. Today, we're running 3 lorries. We're running nationwide with a current expansion plan for international transport. And it's all happening because we stuck to our guns on the pricing. It's offering the top services. I have to say there was a few months where I dropped my prices to meet other people, but I realized very quickly that that wasn't the right way to do the business. And so, like I say, today we're running 3 vehicles. We are expanding internationally. We're working with many other transport partners in and around the local area. We are probably one of the biggest transport hire companies now available in the area. And so it just brings me back again to why we've made it to where we are and the challenges that other people are having. I was the smallest horsebox hire company in the area, with other companies offering 3 to 5 boxes, but they've all disappeared. They have all disappeared, and that's a true fact. They've gone. People have stopped offering those services. And so really the key message that I want to get through right now in this part is we can't adjust our pricing because other people want us to. We can't compromise the service that we so desire to offer because other people don't want us to, because there will be clients that want to buy that service. There's no other company out there guaranteeing an arrival time within a 15-minute window, so that if you're a really busy business person, you know we're going to be there in that 15-minute window and you can carry on with your day. There's no other service out there, or very few, that offer the quality of boxes that we offer, which cost an extortionate amount of money. But we carry on offering that, and we get the clients that want that service. So really, I'm highlighting here to you, if you're another equestrian business, you need to put your price where you want to be. Do not undercut yourself because other people make it look like that's what you should do. Remember, your services are above and beyond other people's, and that what you are offering is unique and you need to be positioned as such. Do your market research. Look at who your target market is. All these basic fundamentals will help you to design that platform. There's nothing worse than reducing your prices and ending up being a busy fool. Now, where are we going with the business? I've touched upon it. And I want to dive into it a bit more, because with every business, your business, my business, we have to be looking at where we're heading. You must have a plan, because businesses otherwise are hobbies, which is exactly part of this conversation where I'm saying to you, don't run it as a hobby, run it as a business, because you'll only end up in a problem or making yourself unhappy for other people's happiness. And that's not what you want to do. So I've drawn up a 5-year business plan. We're now 2.5 years through that business plan. And this business is looking to scale up. We're going international. That is our next step. So we've gone from hiring horse boxes to hiring and transporting locally. We now hire, transport locally, and offer nationwide services. So our next step is to do the international step. And that is a big jump. That is a big, scary jump for people that, or myself, who hasn't done it before. But how am I going to get through it? I'm going to have the right people around me. I'm going to find the advice from people that have done it, and I'm going to do my research. And through doing that, I'm going to be able to expand over the next year. We've got 3 boxes now. I'd like to think by the end of the next year, it's 4. We're going to be offering international services. Guess what the biggest objection is? Every time I tell someone I'm going to do international transport, what's the biggest objection? It's too expensive. It's too expensive, it's too expensive, it's too expensive to go abroad. Since Brexit, it's too expensive. I can tell you categorically, and I'm not yet doing it, but I can tell you categorically, it is expensive, but people are still doing it today. And because no one else is doing it, because they say it's too expensive, there's a huge market for people like myself and other transporters to utilize that market. So again, another highlight for you. Don't listen to what other people are telling you. Do what you believe to be right. Look it up, do your research, do your due diligence, find someone that can help you, but stick to your guns. Yes, it's expensive, but people still need horses taken abroad. People are still buying horses from abroad or sending them abroad. And many of these people, and this is where I specialize, don't want their horses on a horse box with 10 other horses. Why? Well, that's down to each individual person's preferences. It can be everything from they don't want them to be on there for biosecurity reasons, or they're not sure they're going to get the care they would expect their horse to get. Now, I can't talk for what happens on boxes like that, but what I do know is the service we offer is what those people want, and that is why we're going to offer it. So that's where we're going. And so I think really to bring this episode slowly to a close, my key messages for this is the equestrian business industry is not easy, and it's been a journey. I've made mistakes. But now 2.5 years in with huge expansion plans, 3 boxes and taking on a member of staff, I can tell you that if you absolutely have the drive and determination, you will be able to achieve those goals. If you're not sure how to do it yourself, reach out and find somebody who can help you in your industry, in your area. Do your research, speak to insurance companies. Make sure you've got all your ducks in a row. What insurance do you need? What licensing do you need? What qualifications do you need? And make sure you know it all of those different things. And if you're also listening to this wondering about horse transport specifically, please, 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 whatever you do, whoever you use, you need to be asking these fundamental questions. Firstly, what box are they using? How old is it? And that sounds silly because it doesn't really matter. But to me, it does. I want nice new boxes for various reasons: reliability, absolute certainty in the quality of the vehicle. You're not going to have any damage problems. You then need to be asking, have they got their insurance, their documents and their licensing? Now, this includes your DEFRA certificate to say the box is safe for them to travel, particularly if you're doing it over a long period of time. Are they registered as a business, a horse transport business in the country? Are they a type 1 or a type 2? Now, let me break that down for you because most people don't know this. Type 1 is anyone that can transport horses up to 8 hours. So if you're doing a local run, a type 1, absolutely fine. But if you're expecting to take your horse any distance, for me, 8 hours could be up to Inverness. So that's all right. But you need to check that. So if you're doing a short trip, type 1, absolutely fine. Just make sure they've got that license. Type 2, anything over 8 hours. That could be then going international. That can be doing large trips for you. But just make sure that you've got the correct license in place with your transporter. That's really, really important for their insurance purposes. Then you've got insurances. Are your transporters insured for what you need them to be? Now, I can't specify my insurances here today, but I can tell you there's a number of different varieties. You've got public liability insurance. You've got care, custody and control insurance. And by the way, care, custody and control insurance is the insurance that your transporter has when your horse is under their care. Now, I can categorically tell you that some people are insured for £10,000. What's your horse worth? Are they insured for the right amount of money? Ask the question. And then finally, if they're operating bigger vehicles, are they registered? Have they got an operator's license? If they're over 3.5 ton lorries, are they actually insured and regulated under the operator's license? If they're traveling abroad for you, they will have to be registered as an operator. These are all really important questions. And actually, it's all of these little things which people don't necessarily think about, but is why we charge what we charge. Because if they're charging 50p, 60p, 80p, there's something missing. Because these costs are not cheap costs. But they're all things that you need for your peace of mind so that you and your horses are all safe, legally and transported correctly. Now, that's the most important part of this episode because I can go on all day about what I do. I get up, I transport for a number of hours a day, and I do it many, many days of the week. The most important thing is that you actually know that you're correctly being transported. Your horses are. Because many mistakes are made. Many things do happen, and horses, as we hear often, time and time again, are very unpredictable. So be prepared for that moment in that unpredictable situation that your transporter needs to be fully insured and operate correctly. That's it for today's episode. Just touch on a little bit on that. Please do drop me any questions in the comments, like and share this episode. And thank you very much for joining me. We'll see you next week for the next episode.